What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Cassandra, and this week we're gonna do a video that I wasn't planning, but I was just kind of thinking and thought, you know what, maybe people would be interested in this. My husband has been on the road for a week. This is the week of 4th of July, so he's gonna be on the road today through Wednesday. Today's Monday, so it's gonna be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He's gonna be on the road. He's gonna be home Thursday, Friday for the 4th weekend, and then come Monday, he's gonna go back on the road. I don't know how long it's going to be, so I figured we would do a couple dinners of what I make while my husband's on the road, how I adjust for that, because if you're new, typically I make a big dinner. My husband brings leftovers for lunch for the next day, and then we'll eat leftovers here as well for lunch, and then that's usually how I do things. I like to plan my leftovers for lunch, and then I don't have to worry about making lunch, especially as summer gets busy, all 4 kids are home, and managing all the other things. So I pulled out a kielbasa from Aldi, from the grocery haul. This one's beef. I'm going to slice this up, get it in my Dutch oven on the stove here with some onions and some garlic. I'm gonna let that kind of release some of the juices, and then I'm gonna throw in some frozen pierogies, turn my heat down, put the lid on my Dutch oven, and just kind of let it all steam and come together. Very simple, very easy, and that's kind of what I'm gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna do a vegetable with this. I'll probably throw together a side salad. I have a lot of salad stuff coming out of the garden right now, and it's in the fridge, and I want to use it before it goes bad because you can't really preserve lettuce, so we're going to use it as it's coming in as quickly as we can. So we're going to do a side salad, pierogies, and kielbasa, onions, garlic. Very simple, very easy, and the trickiest part is trying to make sure that I don't make too much where it's just too much. So we're going to kind of wing it and hope that I don't make an obscene amount of food, because that does happen to me when you're used to cooking for so many people, and then essentially you have 2 portions or 3 portions that are not going to be eaten. You gotta shrink things down a lot. So I am going to cut all this kielbasa. I'm not gonna throw all of it in the Dutch oven, I don't think. I think I'm gonna save probably a 1/4 of it and set it aside. I'll put it in a Ziploc bag in the fridge, and later this week I'll use it. I'll throw it in baked beans and do beanie weenies as a side or something like that. But all of this kielbasa is just too much for myself and the kids. So I'm just gonna set some of it aside. I don't need a lot to do beanie weenies, but I also don't need all this for a kielbasa, so, or this for this dish. So I'm happy with that. This is gonna go in the Dutch oven. This is what I'm putting in the fridge for beanie weenies later this week. I figured we can definitely do that as a side around the 4th of July. Baked beans, and this will be perfect just to throw in a can of baked beans. The kids will love it. My husband loves it. We don't do beanie weenies that often, so that'll be fun. Or I can save this on the side and we can throw this on top of like baked potatoes or something. We will use this up. I can always scramble eggs in the morning and throw this in if it's getting towards the end of the week and I want to get it used up. So if we don't use it for what I'm intending to use it for, that's fine, because we can always throw it in eggs and everyone will be super happy with that. So this goes. I have my big bag of pierogies here. Got this from Walmart. If you wanted to make this a 1-pot dinner and you wanted to throw some veggies in here, I would throw in, you could throw in either something frozen green beans I think would be really good in here. You do frozen mixed vegetable maybe if your family enjoys that, just frozen peas, or you could dice up fresh carrots and put those in here. I think that would be really good. I can see us doing this in the winter time with carrots and celery in here, almost like a stew, and then putting a brown gravy on top of it with some fresh bread or something. I think that would be really good in the winter time with these pierogies. So I'm just gonna start taking out some of these pierogies. I'm gonna set them on my cutting board. I already washed it off from the kielbasa, and get these just to start warming up a little bit. That way when I throw them in my Dutch oven here, they are kind of a little bit more ready to go. They're not as cold, they're not completely frozen, and then put the rest of them in the bag. This was the really quick and easy dinner that I really needed on this night. I just did everything we talked about. Dumped everything in the Dutch oven once it was chopped. Let my Dutch oven do all of the work. put the lid on it just to keep the steam in. Once all those juices released in our onions and our garlic and our kielbasa, I threw in our frozen pierogies, let those basically steam. I ended up throwing in a little bit of oregano, some pepper, and some seasoned salt, gave it a stir, and served it. It was really that easy and that simple. Very hands-off, and this was actually a really nice one-pot dinner that I never would have thought of previously, so I was really happy with this dish. We went ahead and just served that up. We ended up not doing a side salad. The kids told me that they would rather just finish off the watermelon, so that's exactly what we did. Into night 2, we ended up making a chicken noodle stir-fry dish. I like to make this with my husband's gone because we all like it, but it's not my husband's favorite meal, so it's perfect to make when he's not here. I ended up getting some chicken thighs in the oven with a little bit of ginger and onion powder, and then let those cook. While that was going, I ended up getting my vegetables ready. I had a bag of veggie stir-fry mix, got that in my pot, and then added in some frozen cabbage from the garden from last year. I froze individual sized bags and this one big bulk bag, and I much prefer my individual sized bags. I'll be doing that from now on. I thought that I would be making something in bulk where I would like to have a lot of cabbage on hand. Turns out, nope, I do not need a gallon of cabbage, so I'm not going to be doing that again this year. Once my noodles were cooked, I just cooked those in boiling water on their own. Once they were good, I drained them and put them in with my thawed vegetables, and then just kind of kept hitting it with that Japanese barbecue sauce, which is basically just a teriyaki sauce, and just kind of mixed it, threw it all together while I was waiting for my chicken in the oven to cook. Once my chicken in the oven was cooked, I diced that up and dumped it in with our noodles, juice and all that juice in the bottom of the pan is flavor. I want all of that, so I dumped it all in, gave it a big mix, and then that was dinner. I made this in bulk because this meal freezes really well. Any leftovers that I had, I could throw in a Ziploc bag and throw in the freezer. Here's our finished product. Very hands-off. I was able to clean the kitchen up and do some other things while this cooked. Normally we would serve this with, you can probably hear the dehydrator, but normally we would serve this with like dumplings or egg rolls, crab ragoons. Usually I will buy those things in bulk, or like when Aldi has them, or from Sam's Club or something like that, and they're just kind of like fun treats. I don't mind buying that stuff in bulk. That's a little bit more expensive, that we don't eat all of the time. It lasts like 3 months, 4 months, even 6 months in the freezer. But I don't actually have it. I do have ragoons in the freezer, but I forgot about it until right now. So we're just gonna scratch those, save them for a later date. But this is going to be dinner tonight and most likely lunch tomorrow. My husband comes home tomorrow. He'll be home for dinner tomorrow. So we will take a pause on this video for a couple days and catch you guys next week when he's back on the road. Welcome back to another episode of What I'm Cooking My Kids while my husband is on the road. He was home for the weekend. It's Monday. He left early this morning. He's gonna be gone this week as well. So what I did is ended up pulling out of the freezer my stuffing meatloafs that we made in a no cook freezer meals video. I will link that video down below if you want to see that. But today is the night. Nothing sounds good. I completely forgot to pull out meat. It was raining all day today. Well, not all day. It was raining all morning. I got my Sam's Club delivery order in this morning. Our house was a complete wreck after the 4th of July weekend, so we took time this morning to get that back up and running. Then this afternoon, we went out and did things out in the garden, taking care of weeding and some different projects out there. And now it's a little after 4 o'clock and things gotta get going. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven. It's completely frozen. I should have pulled it out earlier, but that's okay. I'm gonna just put it in the oven frozen. It's definitely gonna take probably an hour to cook. And I'm just going to boil off some potatoes, and we'll do potatoes with our meatloaf here. And this is veggie packed. It has spinach, peppers, carrots, onions, basically whatever I had in the fridge at the time. There might be some zucchini in here. I'm not sure exactly what we ended up throwing in here. I can't remember, but this is packed full of a ton of veggies from the garden from last year that we preserved up. So this is gonna go in the oven. I'm just gonna put it on a tray, get it in the oven, and then I'll top it either with ketchup or barbecue sauce. I would have pulled out my meatloaf earlier. I thought about it about 45 minutes ago, but was trying to think of something else that I could just throw together really quickly. But sometimes it's just easier to pull it out. I didn't want to pull it out unless I absolutely had to, and you know what, today just happens to be that night, so I'm just gonna get a pot of water up here on the stove. We're gonna get that going, and I didn't really want to make it because it's a 2-pound meatloaf. That is a ton for the 5 of us who are here, myself and my 4 children. However, I will just use the rest of this as meal prep throughout the rest of the week. I will use it for lunches for myself or random dinners. There will most likely end up being a night where I just pull out chicken nuggets and tater tots. You can cook those for the kids can have those, and I'll eat the rest of the meatloaf or whatever it is. So this is dinner tonight, and I'm just gonna use it as meal prep for the rest of the week for later in the week when future me needs present me to have done something to make my life easier. That was a big roundabout way, but that's how I like to think. It is a lot of food. It's not gonna be eaten all right now, but I love leftovers. The kids like leftovers. We will use it. And meatloaf is one of the kids' favorite meals. So who knows, I might not even have as much leftovers as I think I do. So we are only gonna have to wait and see. I ended up taking some chicken thighs, putting them in my baking pan, spreading them with a generous helping of sour cream. Then we're going to take some of our home canned spaghetti sauce. This is veggie packed. It has zucchini and peppers of all kinds in here, and we're just gonna top it with our spaghetti sauce. Then we're gonna top it with some pepperonis. This is totally optional. You could also top it with ham if you wanted to, or Canadian bacon. You could do Italian sausage, really whatever you want. Then we are going to top, once you have it topped with your sour cream and your sauce of choice and your pepperoni of choice, or no pepperoni, no Canadian bacon, nothing like that. You can just do your chicken. We're gonna put that in the oven and let it bake. Once your chicken is about 5 minutes from being done, you are going to top it with your choice of cheese. I did cheddar because that's what I had in my fridge, but you can definitely do mozzarella, you could do Parmesan. This is what it ended up looking like getting pulled out of the oven. I just cut everything in half just to make sure everything was cooked all the way through, but it's kind of a play on like a pizza or like a lasagna, but it's just plain chicken. And then I ended up just making about half a box of bow tie pasta, and we're just gonna put this on top of the pasta, and that's gonna be dinner tonight. Very simple, very easy. I did top 2 of them with Parmesan cheese. I like that. I'm gonna leave it off for the kids because I don't think they really care, but this is gonna be dinner this evening, and this will definitely make leftovers. I'll be able to have this for lunches. You guys get the gist. We talked about that yesterday with the meatloaf. We will use it, we will eat it. Very happy with that. So this is dinner tonight. For dinner, we're doing a little bit of a leftovers buffet. We still have leftover chicken that we did from last night. There's still leftover. We still have leftover meatloaf, and I have some leftover chicken salad that I made on Sunday. And I want to make sure that everything's being used up. So the only thing I'm making tonight is a little bit more of the bow tie pasta for the kids. Some of them will probably eat it plain butter. That's fine. I'm gonna make a big salad for myself. That's how I'm gonna get rid of some hard-boiled eggs out of the fridge that need to be taken care of, and we have a ton of lettuce from the garden right now that I already have up here. I also have a head of cauliflower and 2 heads of broccoli, so I'm just gonna make a really big salad, clear out anything out of the fridge that needs to be taken care of. We'll have a big side salad. I'll pull out the proteins, plain noodles, and we're just gonna clear everything out, at least try to clear as much out as we possibly can tonight for dinner, and then kind of start fresh for the next couple of days. I'm not gonna eat any of this pasta. I do not want anything hot. I'm starting to cool off now from the AC, right? I put my sweater back on. Was out in the garden for all of Cleo's nap. She's still napping, but I weeded a couple rows. I got my tomatoes trellised and pruned. A lot of good things happening down there. I was also able to fertilize all of our berries in the orchard and get everything watered over there and weeded and taken care of. So it was a really productive day today. So I don't want anything hot. I'm just gonna have a really big bowl of salad and we're gonna clear things out this way, and that's what we're gonna do for dinner tonight. So really simple, really easy, just pulling things out and heating things up mostly. I figured I'd show you guys our salad. I had probably about 1.5 cups of chicken salad left. Put some cucumber in here, some salami. I grated a couple carrots from the garden in here. Salt, pepper, a little bit of lemon juice. Salad itself is from the garden. And then handful of cheese, hard-boiled eggs. I think that's all we threw in here. But this is gonna be our side salad. I just threw in the pasta in the boiling water, so this is gonna be our dinner tonight.